Hey folks, this is Jeff from wickedoil.com. Today is the 17th of July 2021. This is a follow-up review of my brand spanking new Vox AC15C1. I'm going to be playing through my Epiphone, Les Paul, I can't remember the name of this thing, but anyway, it's a tribute to the first Les Paul TV yellow P90s, which is very cool. Anyway, plugged into the clean channel right now, or the normal channel as it's called. Now, I did a review. I've had this thing for, I don't know, approximately 11 or 12 days, almost 2 weeks. I did an initial review of it. I believe it was the night after, day after I got this thing, and I kind of gave my, initial thoughts on it and stuff like that. I wanted to follow up. There's a couple of interesting things that I'd like to point out about this. Number one, unlike most amplifiers, I have a whole gaggle of amplifiers. Most of them are tube. I have well, it doesn't matter, a couple of solid states, but everything else is tube, either combo or head. Interesting thing about this is that now it comes with a Celestion Greenback in it, and I guess I should just show you the amplifier. Anyway, pardon me for all that. You know, if I don't show you the amplifier, then am I really talking about that one? Anyway, interesting thing about this amplifier is it has two jacks on the back. Now I told you it's got a Celestion Greenback in there, which I think sounds great, man. I mean, I love the sound of this thing. But one of the jacks, when we plug into that, now it's got a setting for 8 ohm and 16 ohm. Now it's normally 16 ohm because it's got a 16 ohm speaker in it. But you can plug into an external jack or external a speaker box of either 8 ohm or 16 ohm. But if you use 8 ohm, you have to use the one, if you're facing the back, it's the one on the left, and that nulls the speaker or mutes the speaker or cuts the internal speaker out of the circuit. And then you're just running on the external, so you can run 8 or 16 ohm box, which is cool. Or if you have a 16 ohm, it doesn't matter if it's one speaker or two speakers that are wired in series, like 2 8s wired in series to give you 16 ohms, or if you've got 412 or even 812, whatever. As long as it's a 16 ohm load, you can run that and this speaker. You just set it for 8 ohms and you plug that into, if you're facing the back, it'd be the one on the right. Now this is a very cool feature. You have to set it for 8 ohms because 16 to 16 in parallel gives you 8 ohms. That's what the amp will be looking for. That's a cool feature. All the other manufacturers, you really ought to think about doing something like that, because it just, I know it adds a little amount of cost to it, but I tell you what, I'd rather pay an extra few dollars for the amp and get that feature than to have to go install it myself, because that just pisses me off. Anyway, let's see, is there anything else? Now, I have a Celestion Blue, and I have not put it in this thing and tried it, but it's in a separate cabinet, and I plugged that in and tried it solo, and then I tried it with this speaker, you know, both of them together. And I have to tell you, now, the way I did it externally, I like the sound of the Greenback better. But I haven't actually physically swapped the speakers out, because to make a direct comparison, I have to actually put it in this amplifier and you know, see what it sounds like in this box, because you put it in a different box, yeah, it'll sound close, but it's not going to sound like it would if it was actually in there. So since my first review, now my first review I was playing a 2015 SG, and this time I'm playing the Les Paul here. And in today's review, I've installed a Weber beam blocker, and I wanted to swap in the green, the blue, Celestian blue, but I thought, well, if I do that, then it nullifies the test, because these two speakers don't sound the same. So I left the Greenback in. I put in one of these, and before I even get started, I'm fixing to start playing some music, because nobody wants somebody that just sits there and runs their mouth the whole time. What I noticed by putting this in, now I haven't actually, I'm not in a room where I can really walk back and forth and see if it makes that big of a difference as far as the off access and on access and all of that. I'm sure it does, but that's actually another video that I'll be doing either today or sometime very shortly, because this one actually is for a 10-inch speaker, which is my 68 custom Princeton Reverb. So that one I'm going to set up. We're going to do a clip of without this, and walk back and forth and see how it sounds, and then we're going to put this in and do it again. So see if it actually makes a difference, or if it's just falls into the category of I spent money, therefore it's cool kind of thing. So anyway, with that said, I'm on the clean channel, or the normal channel right now. I'm playing through the bridge pickup. I've got the tone all the way up on this, and I've got I just got the volume cracked open, because the normal channel is sitting at about an 8 right now, and the master is sitting around about 7. So, and let me tell you something, you open it up that wide, it still overdrives. So this thing's got a bitchin' overdrive on the normal channel. Now, I should note that I'm plugged directly into the amplifier. I'm not one of these dingleberries that tells you they're reviewing an amplifier and then they got 15 pedals plugged in, okay? Because you're not reviewing an amp when you do that. You're reviewing your bullshit pedal arrangement. So now I do have a little bit of reverb on this. The reverb on this surprisingly does not wash out when you turn it all the way up. Now, it's too much for me. I'm not a big fan of reverb, but I've got it set about a 2.5, which it's still a little much, but on this amp it doesn't sound too bad. Now I've got this has a tremolo on it, and yes, I like calling it a tremolo instead of a tremolo, because that sounds stupid. But anyway, I've got it just cracked open to where there's just a little bit of a kind of to it. It kind of makes the notes sound just a little fatter. Is all I'm really trying to accomplish here. Now, I know I'm still yapping. This guitar already has what they kind of refer to as a warm sound, which just means it kind of emphasizes the lows and lower mids more than the other frequencies, which means that this is a great great combination to do some blues or some rock or whatever. difference did this make? The biggest difference I've noticed so far is that it's got a little bit of a deeper kind of tone to it. I actually had to brighten it up just a hair after putting this in. But something else that I noticed is it has more of a, the best way I could describe it is it's like I turned the drive up a little bit more, got a little bit more overdrive to it. So I actually, in order to stay with the same kind of grit that I had before, I had to bring the drive back a little bit. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Guess you'll have to figure that out for yourself. But I like it. Now, this is my first Vox amplifier, and I played through one years ago in a Guitar Center, I believe it was, because years ago I was going to buy a classic AC30, because, you know, 30's better than 15, right? Nah, not necessarily. Anyway, you can't really turn it up and get down at Guitar Center, because, you know, you're gonna piss everybody off, and then they're gonna start doing that, and then it's gonna be unbearable. But I think this actually causes this, or creates, should I say, or maybe emphasizes more of that sound. If you're going to buy a Vox amplifier, you know, if you're going to do any research on what you're going to buy, and you're going to be trying to find something that kind of fits your style, stuff like that, you're going to kind of realize that certain amps lean towards a certain way, you know, certain kind of drive sound, certain kind of clean sound, you know, certain presence to it. And this, putting this in here, seems like it actually emphasized the breakup of the speaker to where it's really more or closer to my view of what a Vox is going to sound like. So now I'm going to turn this thing up. Now I've got the volume on the guitar open to about 3, and like I said, I've got about, I don't know, I'd say the clean channel, just kind of looking at it at an angle, 7-ish, 8-ish, probably 8-ish, and that master setting at about 7, give or take. I'm going to turn this thing wide open. both of them together. Back on the bridge, I'm backing off the tone a bit. Okay, now remember, we're still just on the normal channel here. Now, as I understand it, the original Vox amps, like the AC15, came out in 1954 or something like that. Only had one channel, kind of like my Princeton, and my Carbon VT16. Great sound. If that's all it had, dude, I'd still be fucking totally happy here. Great, great amplifier. So I'm gonna swap over. In fact, you know what? Let's back the. See, how do we do this? We master high and channel volume low. Oh shit! I didn't have the master on 7. I had it on about 3.5. And this thing is loud, so I mean, it's kind of loud. It's certainly loud enough to play a gig. Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring the channel down to here. I'm gonna bring the master up. Oh no, I did have it. Okay. I'm gonna put the master on about 7. I'm going to crack into the normal channel volume, and let's see what now I've got the channel volume on about, I don't know, 2. And guitar is wide open. Okay, that's midway on the channel volume. Now, if I were recording on my 32 track over there, that's about as high as amount of drive that I'd be using for a overdrive kind of sound, because you input on a scale of 1 to 10, you input a 2. Overdrive, it's going to sound like a 5 or 6. It Alright, enough of that. Let's go to the infamous top booster, whatever you call it. Alright. Now, I haven't done anything with the master. Okay, I got the master at half, 50%, and I've got the channel volume at about 75. That's pretty righteous sound. I'm still on the bridge pickup. I've got the we'll turn the tone all the way up. I've got that set in roughly probably about a 6, a little over halfway. Now I'm going to back the tone off a little bit. This is wide open. That's about 8 right there. That's about a 6. Now, I can tell you, I have spent a lot of years training my ears to be able to, you know, you can hear, you can listen to stuff. That doesn't mean you're actually hearing. Just like you can look at something and not necessarily see. Okay, I've spent a lot of years training my ears, and I can tell you right now that I would be proud to take this amplifier anywhere and play with the sounds I can produce from this amplifier. Dude, I am so glad I bought this amplifier. I almost didn't buy it because my little Carvin is pretty badass. But this thing, the grit that you can get with this thing, it's just like, oh yeah. So, without making this a hour-long video, which we don't want to do anyway, I would like to say that this amplifier is just, it's beautiful, man. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. This is bar none the nicest looking amplifier I've ever played. I'm not saying that, I mean, I've never played a Dr. Z or a Sir or you know, name all those high-end amplifiers. But as far as all the ones that I've had, most amplifiers, you know, they kind of emphasize more on the sound, not so much on the looks. They kind of generic, you know, whatever. It's all good. I mean, because when it's all said and done, it's the sound that we're really after, right? But this is a beautiful amplifier, and it's a beautiful sounding amplifier, and it doesn't seem to matter what guitar I'm playing through it. I've played my Triple S Strat, beautiful sounding amplifier. I've been playing this. I played my SG the last video. I played my Gretsch 2620 TG on this thing last night. Just great sound, man. P90 really. P90, this thing really sings with the P90s. What else can I say? At some point, I'm probably going to swap in the Celestian Blue just to satisfy my curiosity. Do I think I'll keep the blue in there? Doubtful. In fact, I'm not in any kind of a hurry to change speakers. This thing sounds great with this Celestian speaker in here, this Greenback. So Now I could see myself. I don't think they make a 112 extension cabinet. I know they make a 212, and they want like $600 for it, but it comes with 2 greenbacks in it, which that's cool. I could see myself doing that as soon as I get this paid off. But I don't think I need it, honestly, because I got a 212 that it's sitting on right now that I haven't plugged into yet, that has a Celestion G12T75 and a vintage 30 in there, and that's a great combination right there. And I can play it. It's a 16 ohm load, so I can play it with the greenback, and I mean, I already know it's going to be a bitchin' sound. So, you know, the only limitation is my playing. So, it's good enough for me. Makes me happy. So, with that said, the only thing I might say that I wanted to do was I wanted to buy the instead of the C1, I wanted to buy the C2, which just means it has 2 12-inch speakers in it. That would have been really cool, because 212 sounds, it just sounds better. It has fuller sound than 112 does, but 112 ain't bad. So I'm not complaining. It was another, let's see, this was $700, by $699 for this, and it would have been $900 to add the second speaker, kind of thing. So, I got $762 in this, and then $20 for the beam blocker, plus its portion of the shipping, whatever. I think I got my money's worth. Dude, it was well worth the wait. I've been wanting to buy one of these for about 10 years. So anyway, that's it for now. I'd like to close by saying, you know, I don't do Patreon. I don't do any of that crap. If you want to support the channel, if you appreciate what's being shared here, then go to my website, wickedoil.com, and get some oil for your car, your truck, your motorcycle, your lawnmower, your whatever. This is what sold me on Amsoil years ago. Was I had a old wore-out lawnmower, and I was trying to mow in the middle of summer, and it was just hotter than the blazes of hell. And that thing was just overheating so bad. It was just, the oil residue on the outside was smoldering. It was that hot. And last ditch effort, I drained the oil out thinking it was going to be sludge, and it wasn't. And I put Amsoil in there, and all of a sudden it quit overheating, and it had more power, and it had more, it was like, wow, what a big difference. That's what really sold me on Amsoil, and now I've got it in everything. I don't run regular oil in anything. Nothing. Everything is Amsoil. I believe in it that much, and when you try it, so will you. So thank you. Have a great day. My ZO number with Amsoil is 188-6124, 188-6124. If you're going to go there, I mean, of course, I want you to buy through my link, but whether you do or not, buy Amsoil. Trust me, it's that good. Thank you, and have a great day.